In this episode of the Dandy Funhouse, we're gonna pop it, lock it, drop it in the oven, no pushing, no shoving, gonna bake a little lovin', cause we're gonna make one of those weird desserts that could only come from the South. Soda cake. Let's step into the funhouse.
Where am I?
You just entered the Dandy Funhouse.
Hello and welcome to the Dandy Funhouse, the home of your favorite frivolities. I'm your head chef, Neil Dandy, and if you've been itching to produce some south-watering flavors from your kitchen, you've come to the right place. Because today we're going to make soda cake. Soda cake is one of those oddball sweet treats from south of the Mason Dixon Line like RC Cola, Goo Goo Clusters, moon pies, chess pies, sweet tea you can stand your spoon straight up in, and for some reason God only knows, molded Jello with marshmallows and fruit inside. But this one promises to perch right at the top of that redneck mountain of sweet treats because it's supposed to be delicious and it's supposed to be simple. Why am I saying supposed to be? It's because I've never made nor tasted soda cake. But apparently all there is to it is to simply use a boxed cake mix of your choice, blend in a 12-ounce canned soda, and no other ingredients even if the box calls for it. No butter, eggs, no nothing. Bake it in the oven according to whatever the box says, just that simple, or so we hope. There are many different combinations depending on the soda cake you want to make, such as creamsicle, purple cow, strawberry shortcake, ginger spice, very cherry chip, devil's cola, zesty lemon, and chocolate root beer float. I'm sure there's a lot of others, but these were from a graphic I found floating around the internet that went a bit viral and inspired me to do this epi-soda. So I'll just stick with these for now. So the big question is, which one are we gonna make? To help us decide, let's head over to one of my favorite internet destinations, spinnerwheel.com, where indecisive folks like me can enter our options, spin a digital wheel of destiny, and let Mother Internet decide our fate. I've designed my wheel and chosen a circus theme, input the 8 combinations that viral graphic provided, and here we go. And purple cow cake it is! Moo! Now we need our ingredients. All we need is grape soda, white cake mix, and frosting. Let's go shopping. All right, I've been to 3 different stores now where people have given me leads on the Southern grape sodas, either knee-high, new grape, or Grapico, and I've struck out at all 3 places. I struck out at a local soda shop. I struck out at a local barbecue place that has a vintage soda bin, and I've also struck out at Cracker Barrel, and they've even got a new grape vintage sign on the wall. So unfortunately it looks like the regular old grocery store is the only thing I've got left. So here we are walking into Kroger. Well, grape soda is a little tough to find. We've found a 2-liter of Fanta. Looks like we've got, the Big K brand. And over here we did find Grape Crush. And those are 20 ounce, so I'd have to measure it out. So I gotta tell you what, we'll measure out 12 ounces of this and just go with the Grape Crush. All these cake mixes, but I think I found what I'm looking for. Betty Crocker White. Now my next problem is finding purple frosting. And you know what? I don't think I'm going to find purple frosting. I think what I'm going to have to do is just get white frosting and mix the rest of that Grape Crush into it to turn it purple. Just a wild guess. I don't bake cakes. What do I know? So here we are, back at Mrs. Dandy's kitchen. She lets me in here once in a while, and I make a horrible mess, but it is what it is. So, first off, what you need to do, And this is a very important step that a lot of people have said on the internet during my research, is that you need to properly grease and flour your pan. So I got my Paula Deen on and I coated this pan with butter. And then I floured it, as you can see. So we are going to first take our 12-ounce grape soda. This is actually 20 ounces, but we're going to use 1.5 cups of it. I'm going to pour that right now. And the rest of it, I'm going to blend into our frosting to see if I can turn that frosting purple. There's 1.5 cups. Set that right there. Pour that 1.5 cups into our mixing bowl. I didn't bother to chill it. No reason. We'll just set that measuring cup aside. Won't be needing that anymore. Got our box of Betty Crocker Super Moist White Cake Mix. And normally they say cake mix first and then blend in your liquid, but I'm doing it backwards because that's the way I make my macaroni and cheese. I have the liquidy macaroni and then I just gently introduce the powder. And boy, you can see our combination bubbling there. Look at that, fizzy, fizzy. Okay, well here's our cake mix and I'm just going to start slowly introducing it and blend it in with my wooden spoon until we get everything nice and smooth. And I'll just stir as I gently add. And a lot of you might not know this, but my doggie, Emma Lou, the dandy dog, is actually right here at my feet. Maybe kind of to the side of the table down there by the refrigerator. I'm probably going to spend a good 10-15 minutes here just slowly blending it because I want to try and get the best result I possibly can here. Wow. It's just like, it's foam. I really didn't know what to expect here. Oh, but I do know what I should be doing while I'm blending this. I'm making a huge mistake, folks. I need to preheat my oven to 350 degrees. And I know I should hold the bowl like they do on TV and have one arm going whip, 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 whip. And a lot of that's for dramatic effect. That's so that, housewives can go, ooh, I want to mix like that. I want to mix the way Emerald mixes. And I'm not going to say bam. And probably by the time we finish blending this, our oven will be ready for us. We're going to make an amazing purple cow today. Boy, can you hear it moo? If you listen closely, you can hear it moo. Now, when you're making a southern recipe, you notice I'm using a wooden spoon here. And there's a reason you want to use a wooden spoon. Because wooden spoons are great for smacking kids when they get out of line. You know how I know? Because when I was growing up, I lived for a little while with my grandmother and grandfather. And my grandmother's name was Alma. Good southern name, strong southern woman. And whenever I'd get out of line, she would whack me on the butt with a wooden spoon. She broke a lot of wooden spoons on my butt, let me tell you what. And I deserved every whack I got. And that's just the way it was. Okay, we're going to take our bag here. We're just going to throw it in the sink for now. Cleanliness always, a little dab there, and we're going to finish up our mix. And now I'll do the cool thing where I, put it on its side and whip it like Emerald Lagasse. Continue stirring our batter like so. I'm going to get rid of that box there so we can see more of what we're doing. Gonna look at that. I gotta tell you, that looks amazing. Beat out some of those clumps and just keep on a-going. Everything looks pretty darn smooth now. So I think it's time to pour our cake mix into the pan. See if I can do this in a manner which is conducive to television magic. Oh, look at that. Look at those ribbons of cake mix. And I think this is going to be just the perfect amount for a single layer cake here. Get it all even. And voila! There we go. We're ready for the oven. And we'll do the toothpick test at 20 minutes. And that's where you stick a toothpick in the middle of your cake, and when it comes out clean, your cake is done. If there's batter stuck to it, it's not done. But in the meantime, pull the top on our white fluffy cake mix. And I want to make white spots with it. So I'm going to dish out about 2/3 of our white fluffy cake mix into this mixing bowl. And I'm going to introduce some grape soda to it, just so that I can have some purple color on the frosting. At least that's the idea. And for all I know, this might be a real bad idea. And I left myself just enough to make some white spots once we're all done. You know, I was given warnings by some friends when I told them I was going to blend grape soda into fluffy white frosting. And they said, no, don't do it. Stop. You're a crazy guy. But I don't know how else to turn this purple except for food coloring, and I don't have any of that. So therefore, torpedoes be darned. I am mixing myself up some purple frosting. All right, so I will say I've introduced this purple into my frosting, and it has loosened up this frosting a lot. But I think I can continue whipping into it. I'll put a little more in there. Yeah, that's what people call me. They call me a morin. And that might have been too much, because now it's very loosey-goosey. And you know what I'm going to do once I finish blending? I'm going to put it in our refrigerator here. I'll chill it up to give it some thickness. We will cover a cake with it here in just a little bit. Covered up with one of our magical Walmart bags. It is a southern recipe after all. We'll disturb Emmylou the dandy dog just for a moment while we put it in our refrigerator. And I'd say we've got about 15 minutes left on our clock before we check on our cake. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of this soda. Yes, it's warm. And I'm going to pull up an episode of Dukes of Hazzard and watch it without the commercials. And that ought to time out just about right. We'll be back in a moment. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes or so. Emmylou, you get out of here, you crazy doggy. I'm about to test the cake and do the toothpick test, and we don't want any doggy fur in our cake. So, as soon as I get Emma the Moose out of here, we're going to grab our towel to keep our hands safe, and we're going to do another toothpick test here. And we do have some browning on top. And we do have some grape flavor coming off of this. Stick that all the way in and see how we're doing here. And our toothpick is clean. So therefore, going to pull this cake out, and we are going to set it on the stovetop very gently. Oh, no more jiggle in it. I like that. That's a good sign. To cool. And we can turn off the oven. Woo, that's hot. And let this cool for a while, and we'll come back and we'll try our frosting and see how it turns out. I mean, what else are we going to do? Ladies and gentlemen, it's soda cake. And we're going to be right back here at the Dandy Funhouse. And we are back. Good morning. It is the following morning here at the Dandy Funhouse Kitchens. Actually, Mrs. Dandy's kitchen. And I survived, apparently, to see another day. I passed Mrs. Dandy's inspection. Yes. I'm going to need more of that. And let's go ahead and uncover this cake here. I will set this plate right over here for now and have a look at that. As you can see, as it cooled, it pulled away from the side. So I'm hoping that we'll have a good depanning of this. I really hope, and we're going to accomplish that by, I think I want to put it on this plate ultimately. So I'm going to take this plate, and Mrs. Dandy was nice enough to come in and wipe off all the excess condensation from this plate. It was cooling under the plate to keep dog hair off of it, but condensation was building up, so she came and dried it off for me last night, and I'm so thankful. So we're going to turn this over, do the flippy doodle. Hopefully the cake will just flop right out. If not, I've got my little springy doingy spatula there, and here we go. Let's see. Move this aside so we can get a better view from the front. And no, it's not coming out. So I'm going to have to get to work with the spatula here a little bit. Break it loose from the sides as best I can. And the cake does seem like it's nice and moist. It is broken free from the sides now, and there it comes! A little bit stuck to the bottom here. That cake appears to be baked. That's okay, because that bottom is not going to be showing to the world. Gonna do that number right there. Flip it back over onto our presentation plate. And voila! Oh, and some of the top stuck to that plate. Good thing we are frosting this bad boy. Move it over into the center. And I guess that one's gonna go into the sink. And let's get to frosting. Now this is the frosting that I made last night. I took the white fluffy mix and I stirred in some grape soda. And it's malleable. I put it in to the fridge overnight to see if I could get it to coagulate a bit. And apparently it worked like a charm. So all those people who told me that I cannot mix soda into my frosting to flavor and color it, in your face! Look at that. And we've got a good amount of this frosting here to work with. And see, since I am nowhere near anyone who might claim to be a professional at this sort of thing, I am just going to kind of do it lightly, do it carefully, not take too long, and I'm not going to sit here and bemoan every little thing about this. Because I'm whipping up a soda cake. It's supposed to be quick and simple. You're not supposed to labor over it for days. Just give it a nice glaze. I don't want to put too much on it because I don't want to be all gloppy, you know? Here, did you know that the Dandy Funhouse is not only a video show, but it is also a podcast and a blog. So whether you want to watch the Dandy Funhouse, listen to the Dandy Funhouse, or read the Dandy Funhouse, every episode can be found at dandyfunhouse.com. I'm going to try to make some cow spots here. I got to tell you, I'm winging this. We'll just put some imperfect spots here. That's what cows have. They kind of using my hand to create what I hope will be a masterpiece. Or at least a piece. Now you want a piece of this, right? I thought you did. But I tell you what, it's looking darn good. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Purple Cow Soda Cake. I'm going to drink some Grape Crush to that. Absolutely delicious, and I cannot wait to serve this to my family tonight. And we're going to invite them on in a little bit later once they all get back from work and school. And we're going to carve this thing up and we're going to get their reaction and see what they think of it. And here we are. It's evening time. Everybody's home from school and work. And we're ready to cut into this purple cow cake. What do you say, guys?
Yes.
Yay!
All right, let's do it. Look at that. So this is Mrs. Dandy, and she was nice enough to let us wreck her kitchen over the past couple of days. And this first piece of purple cow cake is going to go to her. And this is Evan, the boy dandy, and he gets the second one. And I'm going to take the third, and we're going to all three, on the count of three, try it together. And we're going to give our honest opinion. So guys, I gotta tell you, you don't have to say it's good if you don't like it. If you think it's the most terrible thing you ever put in your mouth, you're welcome to spit it out and say so, okay? But on the count of 3, pick up your forks. 1, 2, 3. And bite. Well,
It's got a good flavor. It has a light grapiness to it. The cake is moist, which is always a good thing. And I think it's very good. It's very different. I like the flavor. I think it's very delicious.
how about you, Evan?
It's moist. It has a cool color and cool frosting, and it's moist, and it tastes good.
I gotta tell you, I like this. Do we all think it's a winner?
Yeah.
It's a winner. Southern Purple Cow Soda Cake. And now you know how to make it for yourself. It's just that easy. And you know what else is easy? Going to dandyfunhouse.com and contributing to the show so we can make more episodes like this. Go to the patronage page. Supporters will get access to exclusive bonus material, and super supporters will get special prizes mailed to them from right here at Mrs. Dandy's Kitchen. What do you say? And also, you can find the videos, the podcast, and the blog all there as well, and figure out how to sign up for it on your favorite places to consume all this stuff. And speaking of consuming, I think we're going to consume more of this here at the Dandy Funhouse, where everything is always
Fun and dandy. Oops.
Am I right?
Yum. That's so good.